Imagine you're standing at the edge of a river. The water is clear, alive, always moving. You dip your hands in and try to hold it, but the tighter you grasp, the faster it slips through your fingers. That's life, that's love. That's the outcome you are waiting for. That's the version of the future you are obsessing over. Attachment destroys clarity by binding us to fear. Fear of change, of loss, and of not being enough. Sometimes we justify chaos because we are terrified of the emptiness that detachment might bring. One of my professors used to say that it's when you step outside the system you can point out what is wrong with it and what has to be changed. As long as you're inside the system, you are part of the system. You can either be a leader in that system or the victim. That depends on you. A woman suffering domestic abuse finds it normal because she has been taught so and she fails to address this as a problem. But her neighbors know that this is wrong and steps must be taken to improve the situation. Cheating and affairs in official environments are increasingly common these days. It has been openly and slowly accepted as the new normal. But it's when you are new to such offices or you come home to an actual life, you know how people have just decided to be a part of it. Such things keep repeating in our surroundings, and one day you end up being dishonest yourself. Not just relationships, people burning out, working late, stress has become so common because everyone is suffering it. Because that's how you think you'll get ahead. But one day you detach and view your situation from the outside and realize you have been working for 5 years and somebody else got that promotion you had been obsessing over. That's when you decide to either make a pact with your position or leave. Similarly, you keep overeating, feeding random junk to your body, ignoring the changes, the signs that your body gave, and one day you end up in the hospital. You are not observing because you are not aware. You are not aware because you have become attached to it. All these can be forms of attachments when you are aware of it. Hence, detachment will save you time in life. It will give you a fair chance to observe and take actions accordingly for the next phase of your life. It will give you better results because you never perceived a specific outcome beforehand. The Bhagavad Gita gives a practical guide to mastering this detachment. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 6 verse 19 it is mentioned, Yatha dipo nivatastho ningate sopama sprita yogino yata chittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha. Just as a lamp in a windless place does not flicker, so the disciplined mind of a yogi remains steady in meditation on the Supreme. A calm mind is a detached mind. Thus Gita advises to detach from distraction by building stillness. It asks you to be like the flame protected from the wind, not because the wind isn't there, but because you've built a strong shelter around your soul. It is important to not forget your principles while remaining detached in a foreign situation or system, so your brain does not bend to new rules of that place but knows the rights and the wrongs it was taught through the power of meditation, devotion, knowledge and discipline. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 verse 18 it is mentioned, Karmanya karmaya pashet akarmani cha karmayah sabuddhiman manusyeshu sayuktah kritsna karma krita. Those who see action in inaction and inaction in action are truly wise amongst humans. Although performing all kinds of actions, they are yogis and masters of all their actions. One must detach from the view that visible effort is the only form of progress. Sometimes resting is the most powerful action. Like a spider weaving a web without effort. Let your action flow from stillness, not stress. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi gave a blueprint to achieve happiness in his book Flow, where he introduced us to the concept of flow. Flow is a mental state where a person is fully immersed, energized, focused, and enjoying the process of an activity. It happens when the challenge of the task matches one's skill level, not too easy, not too hard. In flow, people lose their sense of time, self consciousness fades, and they experience peak performance like an artist painting, an athlete playing, programmer coding, writer writing. This is why some people lose track of time in gym. I lose my track of time in reading, and so on. A spider spinning its web is deeply focused, working methodically and skillfully creating an intricate web. The spider's task is perfectly matched to its abilities. The act of weaving a web is complex but well within its skill set. Much like how flow requires balance between challenge and skill. This total immersion is enjoyment and is happiness. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 16, it is mentioned, Natyashnatastu yogosti na chaikantamanashnataha na chati swapnashilasya jagrato naiva charjuna. O Arjun, those who eat too much or too little, sleep too much or too little, cannot attain success in yoga. Krishna gives a practical detachment tip where he asks to detach from extremes, even in your spiritual or disciplined habits. Balance is the secret to sustainable detachment. One needs to thrive in rhythm, not rigidity or rules. A child who is allowed to play will come back to study and complete his homework, but a child who is asked to study before playing will have his mind constantly wandering in the thoughts of playing. His energy will be scattered. If forced, he will feel restricted and won't study at all. In your health journey, if you are asked to follow the exact same meal plan in the exact same time and exact same workouts every day with no variation, you are likely to not follow it at all. You may be able to do it for a few days, but you will fall back into the same patterns without even realizing. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verse 24, it is mentioned, Sama dukkha sukha swastaha samaloshtāshma kanchanaha tulya priya priyo dhiras tulya nindatma sanstutihi. One who is steady in pain and pleasure, self-contained, views a lump of earth, a stone, and a gold as equal, who treats praise and criticism alike, such a person is wise. Inner peace does not come with others' opinions of you. Thus Krishna urges you to detach from the highs of flattery and the lows of criticism. Be a mirror, reflecting but not absorbing. Praise and blame come and go, but your surface stays clear. Your focus in doing you remains clear. When you focus on the karma, the task at hand without ego, the sense of the self disappears. Yet paradoxically, the sense of self emerges much stronger after this experience. This is an autotelic experience, something done for its own sake, having an end or purpose in itself. Thus, it is advised to stop thinking about yourself, your image, or how you are being judged, which is another form of attachment to your identity. A person who masters this isn't driven by external rewards like praise or avoidance of blame and can perform with much clarity in all aspects of life. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 58, it is mentioned, Yada samharate chayam kurmonganiva sarvashah indriyanindriyarthebhyah tasya pragya pratisthita. One who is able to withdraw the senses from their objects, just as a tortoise withdraws its limbs into its shell, such a person has divine wisdom. People who thrive amid chaos and adversity are those who have built a strong inner structure, a kind of mental tortoise shell, which is secure and reliable. The tortoise shell protects but not isolates. It is strong yet never heavy. To overcome the anxieties and depressions of the modern life, individuals must become independent of the social environment to the degree that they no longer respond exclusively in terms of its rewards and punishments. Control over consciousness is the highest human skill. When storm comes in any form, emotional, circumstantial, or existential, choose to go inward into a meaningful activity, into purpose, into stillness, not as an escape but as an active self direction. Life must be approached in balanced terms. You need to understand that nothing is limited and nothing is permanently slipping away. You can always eat an ice cream tomorrow because joy isn't scarce. But eating an ice cream every day will harm you. You may not be able to study 8 hours a day for a month straight, and you don't need to. Some days you'll manage 1 hour, maybe 30 minutes. Other days you'll be sharp and focused for longer. What matters is that you show up, even if imperfectly. But if you keep waiting for the perfect moment, if you keep choosing avoidance, then time does slip away. Procrastination will lead to silent erosion of your potential. Rest with intention, work with purpose, and detach from the expectation of perfection in all. Don't carry guilt for what you didn't do. Don't grip too hard to what you did. Care enough to act, trust enough to release. Be present enough to feel and wise enough to keep moving. You'll know you are there when peace no longer depends on how everything turns out, but in the freedom of knowing that even if you lose something, you're not lost. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.